Welcome to Ink 2 Video. We make books into visual stories.
Vardha has trapped himself inside a life that perfectly matches the low ceiling of his own expectations. Then he picks up a book by David J. Schwartz. As he reads through the chapters, the uncomfortable truth surfaces. His so-called logic is actually just fear wearing a suit and tie. Schwartz identifies this specific habit as an illness called Excusitis. It is the reflex of blaming your age, your health, or your raw intelligence to explain exactly why you aren't moving forward. This shows the mechanics of Excusitis in action. When you tell yourself an excuse, like, "I'm not smart enough," your brain accepts that as a logical endpoint. The moment that lock engages, the brain stops looking for a solution, and the neural pathways simply power down. Schwartz argues that success is a direct byproduct of the scale of a person's thinking, far outweighing raw biological capacity or IQ. Expecting victory creates a tangible path toward it, while expecting defeat effectively guarantees that the mind will stop looking for the exit. The professional world has no reason to value Vardha higher than the exact price tag he places on himself. Schwartz compares the human mind to an industrial plant, a thought factory. It blindly manufactures whatever you order. Request a reason you can't do something, and the factory pumps out failure thoughts. Demand a way to get the job done, and it produces success thoughts. This flowchart illustrates the self-fulfilling prophecy. Our internal expectations dictate physical actions. When predicting failure, subtle self-sabotaging delays ensure failure actually happens. But flip the input to expecting success, and the system speeds up. You catch opportunities because you assume the win is coming. A director-level position opens up at a top firm. Normally, Vardha's factory would pump out a dozen reasons he isn't qualified. This time, he deliberately hits the stop button on his negative loop. Belief is the internal thermostat for human accomplishment. When you turn the dial up, your environment and your actions are forced to warm up to match the new temperature. His first move is tackling the fear of applying. He deploys Schwartz's "do it now" rule. He sits down that evening, updates his resume, and submits the application immediately. Action neutralizes the anxiety. Next, he overhauls his vocabulary. He stops saying, "I'll try my best," and starts saying, "I have the vision to lead this department." He stops listing his current limitations and starts vocalizing his future potential. To cure his intelligence excusitis, he stops comparing his raw IQ to the people around him. He shifts his focus entirely to how creatively he can apply the knowledge he already possesses. He even alters his physical habits. He deliberately walks 25% faster and forces a genuine broad smile. These small physiological shifts trick his nervous system into generating a sudden surge of confidence. This triggers the Pygmalion effect. When you carry yourself with this kind of physical and mental authority, other people subconsciously pick up on the cues. They begin treating you like someone who matters. He upgrades his physical environment by joining a high-level professional association, intentionally surrounding himself with people who already operate at the director level. By projecting an unshakable internal authority, he gives the external world permission to grant him actual authority. A week later, he receives the call for the director interview. He does the interview, he makes his pitch, and he gets rejected. He does not get the job. While the rejection letter is real, the mental barriers it used to represent have dissolved. For the first time, Vardha has survived the arena he was previously too afraid to even enter, proving to himself that he can compete at this level. His brain now has to reconcile a new set of facts. He prepared the vision, spoke the language of an executive, and held his own in the room. These actions provide the internal evidence required to sustain a higher self-image, regardless of one specific outcome. This shift in identity sustains him through the next 8 weeks of aggressive networking and applications. By the time he secures an even better role and finally launches his side business, the success feels like an inevitable conclusion to the mental work he's already finished. He realizes something surprising about the professional ladder. There is actually plenty of room at the very top. The traffic jams are all at the bottom, packed with people who are too afraid to aim higher. This highlights Schwartz's final principle. Visualization adds value to everything. You have to train yourself to look at things not exactly as they are right now, but as what they have the potential to become. take a moment to look at your own life. If you were 100% guaranteed that any project you started today would be a massive success, what would you start? And more importantly, why are you choosing to think small about it right now?
Don't just watch the story. Be part of it. Ink it. Imagine it. Live it with Ink2 Video. Like if it hit you. Subscribe to stay in the story loop. Share it with someone who loves visuals.